Google is like that meme of like the guy holding hands with the girl but looking at the other girl, and like a Gemini, and they're holding hands with the assistant. Like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Then I completely forgot.
Where would you put Bard in that meme?
In the graveyard.
Bard,
Yeah.
drowning behind both of them.
Yeah.
That's
The Bard one is the like slapping the hand that's drowning.
I thought you were going to say the like peace signs over the gravestone.
Yeah.
What is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to another episode of the Waveform podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Marquez.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm David.
This week, I'll be honest, not a whole lot going on, but that doesn't mean we don't have anything to talk about.
Smooth.
Should I start over?
I think so.
It's too late.
Well, I think you're underselling this week's episode.
Why is there?
It's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it is. It's totally going to be a banger. We have to talk about Microsoft's recall feature, which I have a devil's advocate position on, so maybe it will be a banger because I'll get like roasted for some misunderstanding or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll go how it goes. WWDC predictions. That's also what I think we're mainly going to talk about, but also some other little stuff in between. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Instagram is testing unskippable ads?
I did.
Like full-on mobile game. You can't move on with this app until you finish watching this video. Unskippable ads.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I
think-
love it. Because I'm tired of using Instagram so much. So when that ad pops up, no
Okay,
more
are
Instagram.
you in the exact like bubble of person who is starting to fade away from Instagram, and this is the perfect excuse to stop using it even more? Because here's what I think is going to happen. Unskippable ads have never gotten a good reception ever in the history of humanity. So what's going to happen is everyone is going to complain about them, obviously, but Instagram will observe, as the business minds that they are, how many people leave versus how many people say they're going to leave but don't and just keep using it, and then they make more money from the unskippable ads. Yep. And the ads will make them more money than the people who left were going to make them, and so they'll stay.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. When TechCrunch asked Instagram about this, a Meta spokesperson said, "We are always testing formats that can drive value for advertisers. As we test them and learn, we will provide updates should this test result in any formal product changes." Which just like, we know that that's how this stuff works and where things are going. But when you just are like, we're always trying to figure out how to make your experience worse. That's just, never a fun time.
They got to pay that lean team, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I keep wondering about that because, like, you know how YouTube's technically owned by Google and Alphabet and all that? So I always feel like they don't have as much direct pressure. Or here's another example. Lucid has that infinite Saudi money to continue to draw from.
Sure.
So it feels like they're not under any real pressure to become profitable.
Yeah.
What is Instagram's deal? They have Meta.
They
They're
make
owned
so
by
much
Meta.
money already.
They already make a ton of money. Are they under pressure from stakeholders, shareholders? Is there some reason why they're like...
It's called infinite growth.
Because there's no Instagram stock, there's Meta stock. So this is Meta going, we need Instagram to make more money. This is what we're doing to make more money from them. Okay.
Yeah. I think that every public company has a fiduciary responsibility to do that. And we're just at the stage of late stage capitalism where that means everything is getting more and more in shit.
Got it.
What I find funny, though, is if I had to pick a social media platform that ads worked on me the best, it's already Instagram.
Yeah.
I think that's
Like,
probably true of a lot of people.
The amount of things I've bought straight from an ad on a social media place is Instagram.
But video ads?
No, that's so much worse.
Exactly.
Right now, it's so much
That's what I'm
easier because
saying.
it's like it's good at knowing what I want, and if there was like a 10-slide Instagram post in there that I slide through every single time because I have zero, I can't help myself, and like I buy things more than I should.
From
Hey,
Instagram?
here's a bunch of
From
really
Instagram?
sick discs. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like a website. It's like, hey, go buy a new disc golf disc. Go buy some new hiking gear at REI. It's like it's good at getting me on that stuff, or at least getting me to the site.
Yeah.
A video ad is just going to make me mad.
It's also different types of conversions. Like I've bought a couple things from Instagram ads. I'm also thinking of all the other unskippable ads in my life, and usually those are not direct I bought the thing conversions. Like YouTube, I get all kinds of unskippable ads, but they're just for like...
Don't you have premium?
Fair. Yes. Let's go TikTok. Because the thing about unskippable ads is I'll skip them anyway. I'll like close the app and reopen it. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll get ads on YouTube and I just won't convert. You'll get ads on TikTok. I just don't convert. But they're for like more general things. But for some reason, the ones on Instagram are more directly converting more often, at least in the world of Instagram that I'm on.
Because of the Facebook pixel that follows you around the internet and knows what you look at.
Maybe.
Would you argue the ads on Instagram are working better because they kind of are skippable? Like right now, it's just a post or it's like inside of stories where you can just tap right by or you just scroll right past it. Like then it just actually has to catch my attention instead of like sit here and watch. And then I'm usually like, well, I'm bored. I'm just going to go use another app now.
Interesting thing with Instagram is that they can track how you interact with the ads that are just in your feed. So if you hang on a reel that starts playing, they know like, oh, you watch this more than the average user. We're just going to keep serving it to you until you buy it. And even after you buy it, because they can't actually track if you bought it or not. But they are really good at knowing what you want to see and then how you interact with that at all, which for me has backfired because it gives me such ridiculous ads all the time that I often will like screenshot it and send it to my friends being like, why does Instagram think I like this? When in reality,
like,
that's why they think I like it.
Instagram's like, oh, they're sending that to a friend. And
Yeah, exactly.
All the right engagement in all the right places.
Exactly. And I'm like, why do I keep getting this? Yeah.
Wouldn't an unskippable ad almost like mess up that though? Because now it's like, we can't tell, are they sitting on this because they like it or are they sitting on it because they have to?
Yeah, I think this is going to be similar to YouTube, where advertisers will pay a huge premium for the unskippable ad, and they will be very highly targeted to a customer that they're pretty sure they're in the right market for. So if you're on YouTube, you can pay for skippable ads or less invasive ads for like more broad groups. But once you get to the like, all right, this person has seen a few of our ads before, and we really want to make sure they read it this time.
Yeah.
They'll pay more for
I would agree with you though, Andrew. I almost think that unskippable ads have a more negative effect than skippable ads do.
But the more I'm thinking about it, the more it's like they're going to sell this at the premium that Marquez is thinking, and Instagram probably knows these aren't going to do that good, but they're like, yeah, but we can charge these other companies that are going to pay for it a ton because it's unskippable. Right. Yeah, I feel unskippable ads going to be good for the type of ads like that are just out there that are like, let's say our name as many times as possible, or McDonald's.
Yeah, because you can't really put an ad in Instagram that is skippable that is just for a general company like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Like you could, but it's not going to be nearly as effective as forcing people to watch it over and over again.
Yeah, and there's no like direct purchase right off of McDonald's, but it's like it's obviously working, but we all know about McDonald's. I don't need another McDonald's ad.
But you do.
The menu. Well, let's be real. If there was a Taco Bell unskippable ad for a random new menu item, you have
Marquez, it's a whole Cheez-It.
Yeah, Marquez, have you not seen
16 Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
It's the greatest technological invention that's happened in our generation.
Are you talking about another Taco Bell
people
menu
are
item?
confused.
No, yes. You haven't seen it yet?
I have not actually
It's
seen it.
there's a couple. There's a Crunchwrap Supreme and a Tostada, but instead of the Tostada shell, it's just a Cheez-It that's 16 times the size of a regular Cheez-It. Hold on.
Cheez-It is
Hold on.
16
Yes.
times bigger?
Taco Bell.
This seems like a
I pitched this for a studio short, and like they were like, "No, we're not doing this." I was like, "This is the greatest."
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It is a giant Cheez-It. Does it not? But it can't be exactly this. It can't crumble like a regular Cheez-It.
I need targeted ads to know about things like this.
I would never have known.
And Taco Bell, if you want targeted ads that we host, you can sponsor the Waveform podcast.
Yeah, Andrew's doing this for free, but you could pay.
Yeah, but you can also pay us to do it.
Promo.
And I'll do it more. Look at this is someone okay, Taco Bell did do the smartest thing with this though, and you can also just buy the giant Cheez-It.
Oh my god. It's huge.
Yeah, how funny would it be? Go home and buy a box of Cheez-Its, dump them all out, and just put like 3 of these inside. So when someone goes for it.
Okay, but so they had to add Instagram.
I could keep going. We'll stop.
Yeah, I'm back to Instagram. They had to add UI for this test for unskippable ads. Because obviously right now, if you got an ad in Instagram, it's a story where you just keep swiping. As soon as you see it, you just swipe it. Or it's like in the feed, like another video, you just swipe it again. But this unskippable ad will pop up a little bubble from the bottom, and it will freeze you there, and it'll start a countdown timer for an ad break. And so I guess what happens is it'll probably act the same way as like a random mobile game where the whole full screen ad pops up and you have to sit there and wait for it to end. unless you just close the app.
Or the little X comes out, but then the ads start putting the fake X's somewhere else.
Those.
And
That's my top 2 pet peeves on the internet are fake download buttons everywhere, on the real one, and fake X's around the real X.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here's my last thing about this. Unskippable ads would look really good on an iPad. Maybe this is what gets us an iPad app, because then they'll be like, oh,
would they look really good? They would look so good, especially if we had an iPad.
I thought when you said new UI, I thought you were gonna be like, they can make a whole new UI for unskippable ads, but we still don't have an iPad app.
Yeah,
that's true.
Lean team.
They also said that they feel that they can do this because Reels have become such an integral part of Instagram that they see Instagram more as a video platform now than they see it as like a photo platform. So users are used to watching video on Instagram.
So keep it in just the Reels feed.
Yeah, which
Don't put it in the post feed.
Well, Reels are already in the post feed.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
there's
it's like different.
separation of
Yeah.
feeds now, and it's really freaking frustrating.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah. So
Well, speaking of things that are everywhere, Microsoft has been talking about and demoing this feature that is everywhere, all over your computer. It's called Recall. And it's an AI-based feature, I would say, where basically,
Sort of.
this is an oversimplification, but what it's basically doing is watching everything you're doing on your computer so that anytime you want to ask the AI about something that you've done previously, it has that context and can tell you. So you could go, what was that movie I was looking up yesterday? And then it can just, oh, I remember. I took a screenshot every 5 seconds for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. And it can tell you. And this goes back to my theory about AIs, which are it has to know a ton about you to be helpful. And so here is an exact representation of that trade-off. This is probably a very helpful feature, but it knows everything you do on your computer, and it's up to Microsoft to protect that information somehow, and naturally all the articles about how it can potentially be exploited.
Can I bring up a tweet I had about this that had a lot of, I don't want to say backlash. I think it was like all super, super reasonable responses to it that I agree with all of them. But I just said, like, I see why people hate this. It feels creepy, but I think it's awesome and could be useful. And then I also said I don't get why it's not opt-in. Defaulting it is really weird. And like, I still think there is some kind of interesting things about this. It feels almost like a fear-mongering tactic of like, if you don't have this enabled, what if you get to that point where you realize it could have been useful? And then you're like, I wish I had that enabled, and then you enable it. But I do agree with everything that's been said, which is, one, Microsoft claims they're not scraping data from it, but like, why should we believe a $1 trillion company that is telling you they're not going to make money off of something that could make them money? Always be skeptical of that. It does seem like it's just watching you all the time. That's weird. You can disable some things so it's not looking in like certain apps and stuff. And then also, I don't get why it's opt out. And not only is it opt out, it like pops up in a screen when you're setting up the new thing and says what it's doing, but there's no slider to agree there.
You have to go.
You have to go into the settings after you finish the setup and actually opt out of it.
Yeah.
Which all feels really sketchy.
Let me play devil's advocate. It's an opt-out feature that knows everything that's on your device, but is an assistant that can help you. So is Siri. So is Google Assistant. So is Alexa.
None of
they
those
at
are taking screenshots of your bank information.
So I think the way they describe it of taking screenshots makes it feel worse.
100%.
But how does Siri not have all of the same downsides? Siri plugs into your contacts, knows all of your contacts. It's not screenshots, but it knows all of your contacts. It knows everything about all the things you've ever asked Siri to do, all of the queries you've ever had. And it's all encrypted and on device and shouldn't ever be sold to any advertisers.
It still doesn't know screenshots of my bank account. And other like, right? Is that, I think the main thing is that these are physical screenshots of things you do on your computer.
My bigger concern is that this is Microsoft, which traditionally has made all of its money from businesses and like getting fleets of computers to businesses. Yeah. And what happens when your employer is like, you cannot turn this off and I have access to everything that you've ever looked at on your computer? So your employer just has like unfettered access to your computer.
It's like one of those things where you're like, I don't want you to see everything, but then it like, obviously everybody at some point during their workday is doing something not work related, and that's just what happens in real
what do
life.
you
But like you
mean?
feel,
You can't like remote.
What?
I'm ordering Taco Bell right now on this podcast.
Theoretically, shouldn't be able to like remotely access it, but I did read that if you have admin access, you can look at any users.
We're going to talk about
recall
that soon. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so what's that? So what I understand Microsoft to be saying is, oh yeah, this is all private. Like, yes, it is using screenshots to remember everything, but it's not storing them in some way that could be stolen somehow. It's supposed to encrypt them, and then no one can ever use these screenshots other than this feature. That's how I understand it to be explained. But
Supposed to is doing
what I hear
a lot
is
of heavy lifting.
Yeah, what I hear is it's not exactly.
I feel like a lot of people are getting nervous about this too because everyone understands screenshots. If you tell someone that using an Android phone, like Google is keeping your data and they're tracking you and they like have all these complicated algorithms that know where you're going.
Algorithms.
People are like abstractly aware that Google's tracking them, but these are like physical screenshots.
Right.
So that's what everyone's like, wait, I know what that is. That's weird.
Yeah,
I think that's what
it's like if Microsoft was a person, they would just be over your shoulder at all times, looking at every single
are you
thing
doing?
you do, and that's just like feels
What are you doing?
really creepy.
Every 5 seconds.
But so there was somebody who's a cybersecurity expert who was looking into more how recall works, and what he found is that even though it's encrypted, if you're an admin on the computer, there's a local folder called app data, and all of them, everything's just listed there in plain text. So like if you were an admin on a computer, even though it's encrypted from outside, if you are in that position on the computer as the user physically, or I'm assuming even remote, if you're controlling the computer remotely and it thinks it's locally, you can just have access to those screenshots. And even though you can say like, don't take screenshots of, you can select different programs that you want it to. So like, let's say you disable Chrome. Anytime Chrome is open, it will take the screenshots, but it's not going to show anything that's in Chrome. But if you don't, it can't tell the difference between what is like a password field or sensitive information field.
Right.
So if you do have show password on, or your bank information or Venmo or PayPal or anything that has to do with your finances, all of that stuff is now stored in a folder that is accessible as an admin.
Yeah, I've just been reading this article.
Which seems insane, right?
It seems incredibly poorly thought out.
It's extremely poorly.
Because I was like, is it a plain text? Like, what is a plain text of a screenshot? Is it like a hash? And then you still can't get the information from it, but it seems like it's literally all of the most useful information is
because
just
the
in
way
text.
that this feature works is it takes the screenshot and then the AI like interprets the text on the screenshot and the images on the screenshot so that when you ask for things contextually, it can pull up the right one that exhibits those features.
Which, like, in theory, this all is cool with, as long as it's like,
20 asterisks.
yeah, it's like, at the core, this is kind of a cool idea, but there are just so many flaws and like creepy and potential security risks associated with it that it's really hard.
I just, as an employee, would be absolutely terrified.
Even at home, like I would be pretty worried about this.
Yeah.
It's just like if somebody does get into your account, you're kind of just screwed.
You're cooked.
You're cooked.
My other
Get cooked, bro.
my other devil's advocate was going to be if someone gets so far into your computer that they've logged into the admin into your account, like you're already screwed beyond anything that this could do.
Any employer has the admin
But
access.
yeah, that any employer has an admin access, and also it could potentially just literally have passwords in plain text. That's what it sounds like. It could just have passwords in plain text, which would be pretty bad.
Yeah, it would have to be in the situation where like you type in a password and it has show. Yeah, and then it takes a screenshot at that time. But if it's taking a screenshot every 5 seconds, that's something
It's
that
every
could happen.
5 seconds if the screen is different.
Oh, if the screen is different?
Yeah.
Fair.
It's super plausible that passwords could be listed in there pretty easily, especially with how often you have to change them now. When I'm double entering passwords in, like to confirm, I usually have show open just because I'm typing the 18th iteration of the same password I've had ever, and I need to make sure it's actually
Or you click the little eye thing to see if you typed it correctly before you hit enter.
Yeah, and there are hackers and stuff that will like Trojan horse your computer or whatever, and then like just wait for you to input this information and like have that access already and steal your information.
Yeah.
But this way, they don't even need to do that.
Yeah, so
they don't have to wait.
I feel like you're devil's advocate of like you're already screwed when you get that far into it. It's like now it's just easier because
just faster.
maybe before they get into it and then it's like, well, now we have to wait. Now it's like we get into it and I just have it all and I don't even need to wait anymore. It's just mine.
Wow.
It all feels rough, and I think I'll take back I think this feature is cool.
Well, I think the idea is cool.
I think the idea is cool, and I don't think there's a company out there that I would trust doing
I
it.
also just don't know, like from a very theoretical high level perspective, it seems like a cool idea, but I can't actually trace back to a time when I would have used this.
And now that it's out there, I bet you'll find a time at some point within the next year where you're like, that may have been helpful.
Maybe, but is
I
it
guess
worth it?
We talk all the time about like potential, like what if the humane device was recording things and you could be like, oh, what was, like recall
thing.
back. It's like a helpful memory of something. Like this is it on your computer, and we spend a lot of time on
Like
computers.
the rewind pendant that is on your...
Pretty much.
That was an idea. That's why I keep saying the idea is cool, but the execution is so hard.
Yeah.
I still love the idea of an assistant that knows everything about you and can do whatever, but we keep asking these assistants to get better with context. Like even remember the early days of Google Assistant, we'd want to just say a question and it knows the context of the previous question.
Yeah.
Or I'd say, who's the coach of the Denver Nuggets? And then I'll go, how tall is he? And it remembers the previous question. It's just all about having good context. And we want to give it as much good context as possible so it can actually answer. But the more context you try to give it, the more data, the more information it has to know about you and what you're doing and what you've been asking and what you've been trying to do. And that's why some of the ones,
smarts, but also a lot of data.
yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's really hard to think, like Microsoft says they're not going to scrape any of this data, but as a company that's focusing so much on AI, how useful would it be to have screenshots every 5 seconds of everybody that
I was
uses your
going to say,
computers?
companies say things all the time, and then they end up having done the thing that they said they weren't going to do
Yeah.
all the time.
That one's just
All the time.
yeah.
I think best case scenario is they don't scrape anything right now, and then they change their priorities on it and say, we are going to scrape on it.
My tinfoil hat is that they ran out of things to scrape, and this just gives them a bucket of more stuff to scrape for a bigger LLM.
Is this feature out yet?
Yes.
Like it's officially out? The recall?
I don't think it's
I have it
officially
on
out yet. I think there's some test versions
I have it
out,
on
or
the
like beta
Asus.
versions.
Yeah, but that
Computers that I
computer's
have.
not out yet either.
Yeah, true.
wild.
Yeah, so...
It comes out on June 18th, apparently.
Do you
Also,
think they'll
Microsoft.
restructure how they do this by
No.
then?
No.
This is it?
I think they
Because
just
like,
go
what if it's
full sail ahead.
encrypted for real? And like every time you want to use this feature, you have to like decrypt it.
How about this?
Would that make it less creepy?
Name the one thing that this could do that would make you trust Microsoft doing this.
Well,
What could Microsoft say that makes you trust them?
Cancel it.
I think what he's saying would.
Like I have my own decryption, passcode.
add an extra layer of friction for me to decrypt.
Yeah, it can't be stored in plain text. It has to be stored in an encrypted way that is only unencryptable by some additional steps. So it's not actually viewable by anyone, and it's not ever uploaded anywhere, and it's useful still.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to make this work.
I guess even in that sense, though, do you still trust that Microsoft, being the person who is doing the encryption aspect of it, do you trust them to not be?
I mean,
Honestly,
as long as it's
getting
not
there.
some weird encryption algorithm that's proprietary to their thing. Like if they use a regular encryption algorithm, that's
I
pretty
guess I don't
standard.
know about encryption, but I would just assume that if Microsoft is selling me something, they can have access to it.
Yeah.
If they want to. I'm not saying they're going to.
Yeah.
Because
but
it's Microsoft?
The skepticism has to be there.
Or
Any
because any big company?
trillion-dollar company.
Because Apple does the same exact thing.
Oh yeah.
So you don't trust that Apple's...
So does Google.
I mean, most of them is like I've just taken the account of like I don't trust them, but I like the feature they're doing, so I'm okay with that. This just seems like the step further of like information.
I will
that
say that
probably
I
don't want.
especially don't trust Microsoft. They are like business, money, business money. And Apple is money, but they are from you. We're going to make the money from you, not business.
I think what I read from that is how bad of a PR disaster would it be if they got caught scraping, and it wouldn't be as bad for Microsoft as it would for other more consumer-facing companies.
I think it's not as bad for Microsoft because people expect them to be doing it already.
Yeah.
But
So no one's surprised.
If it's
Like-
a person who buys a Windows laptop and it's like, oh, well, Microsoft is very, very business focused. They're not losing business customers because
Yeah.
I feel like it still would though.
They wouldn't use. I don't think they'd lose business customers because the business
They might gain some business customers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the businesses want more unfettered access to that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that might be true.
But I think you're right that like if it was a more personal computing company like Apple, which makes almost all of its money off the consumers, that would be a PR disaster for them.
Yeah, Apple gets caught selling your information from your iPhone.
That
It's
would
like a
be
very different,
crazy.
a very different headline.
If they would sell like your searches to like some other $1 trillion search company, like that would be crazy.
It would be crazy. And
Imagine that.
Secretly, it would be crazy, but it's Google.
Yeah. Adam, though, I think that was a pretty salient point about the fact that it is literally screenshots. That's something people can understand. If they were not showing the physical screenshots and they were taking them behind the scenes, but like not showing them, just scraping them and then deleting them automatically and just saying like, we're taking the context off of your computer so you can just search things. I don't think people would be freaking out as much as the idea that it's literally a screenshot that you can like view. Even though it's the same thing.
Seems too easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have explained it a different way.
Yeah, they should have just not
They should never
explained
use the
it.
word
They should have
screenshot.
just said
Well, 'cause you
AI
can
is
see-
doing it
but
all.
You can see the screenshots when you
We're
hit the
using
Copilot
semantic computer vision to reconstruct previous iterations of your activity
Pixel by pixel.
to understand how to help you in the future.
button. Hire Marquez
That's
for your
just
PR.
taking
That's-
a screenshot.
Fantastic.
And tech nerds would have found that out and made articles anyway, but it would have made less headlines than Microsoft going, yeah, we're taking screenshots every 5 seconds of what you're doing.
It is funny that like all these features that we have been saying for literally decades that would be really amazing to have that are in all these sci-fi movies and all this kind of stuff. Now that we're actually starting to come to terms with them existing, we're realizing how terrifying they all are.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Her?
You haven't. Freaking watch that movie.
I did watch Dune.
I
last
know.
night.
I was like,
You didn't watch Dune last night. You sent me a picture of you not watching Dune.
No, I sent you a picture of me turning on the 1984 version of Dune. Wow. Just up until the title card. And then one other weird floating guy.
you
So you
literally
didn't.
I didn't.
Why did
Yeah.
You could have.
It was
watched
funny.
Her.
you could have watched Her?
didn't watch
Why are you
anything.
guys boycotting this movie right now?
I'm not boycotting it. I have a 6-month-old. It's hard to watch movies.
I
You'll
simply
love
do
it.
not have the time. Someday.
Anyway,
We got a
I
lot
feel
of
like
flights coming up.
I feel like Recall is like the computer version of Google Photos search. Like, what is my license plate? Google's doing this in photos, and everyone's fine.
But I'm taking the photos in Google.
That's a huge.
Yeah, Microsoft is taking the photos on this.
Imagine
the difference.
if Google Photos
take
was always taking a shot of whatever my camera was seeing every 5 seconds, I would not trust that anymore.
That was the thing.
Google.
That was the pendant feature or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Read the recall pendant.
Well, I was
That's
gonna-
because no one believed that was ever
You were-
going to work.
Were you going to bring up the new project?
No,
that
it's
they
going
were
with
doing?
the Maps feature that you can just open Google Maps and see every single place you've ever been and for
yeah.
how long.
Yeah. I find that awesome.
location data.
I'm more okay with just
think that
like
was me already.
my pin being so like I guess I shouldn't say okay, but I know it's happening. There's just something more about like seeing what I'm doing. Every
Oh, I
5
agree.
seconds.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Look at my screen.
Yeah, it feels like Google knowing that much about where I've been is equally creepy, but somehow it's less creepy than like screenshots of my screen all the time.
Yeah.
Like if my Android phone was like, not only do I know that you were in this city, but here's what you were doing on your phone at that moment, I'd
No,
be
'cause
more weirded out.
It's always the things that are like not at the forefront of your screen that are the most damaging. Like I don't know if you've ever been like making a video and you need to like screen record your browser, and when you open Safari it'll be like 16 pages that it thinks you might want to go to, and one of them is like, ooh,
Yeah.
One of them is you leaving a bad review on Dune the movie, and you don't want anyone to know that.
Yeah. Or autocomplete.
Yeah.
You've
Now-
never been to the site, but it autofills something, and you're like, oh.
We were hold on. This is such a random story, but David was showing us this really bad Snapdragon commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Qualcomm commercial.
Oh, my God.
Do you know how Justin Long, the I'm a Mac guy, now all he does is get paid to be in Windows? There was him, and part of it is him like
It's so bad.
what was he searching? It's like, what's the newest Snapdragon?
Yeah.
Or what's the
Where can I get a Snapdragon laptop or something
but
like that?
so he types it in the search bar, but then he just types in like where, and the like previously searched thing was the thing he's typing in, so you can tell it wasn't the first take, but it's the only previously searched thing. It's just like
it was
it's like, wow, you typed in where, and we already know you're
the
thinking.
camera was
where can I
also
get this?
focused on the thing behind him, and
The
not
whole
his
commercial's
face.
really
It's really badly produced.
Jesus.
Like extremely badly produced.
Checks out.
So
Wow.
good job, Qualcomm.
Hey, at least they didn't crush a
Doing
bunch
your
of
best.
old musical items. I think it's trivia time.
Justin Long.
Do you see Apple made a new commercial to make up for the?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's
should've made a
it's
bigger
their
deal
latest
about
like
it.
YouTube upload.
Did they do it or did Media Arts Lab do it? Because Media Arts Lab was like,
Well,
we
probably.
did not. Well, they publicly like we didn't make the Crush thing.
It's called
Oh.
Found.
Yeah.
Is it good?
They should have called it Uncrushed.
I haven't watched it.
Oh wait, they released a bunch.
They called it Fixing RPR Disaster.
Found, Powered, Charged.
I would also.
Ladder.
I would like to point something out. Are you on
It
Apple's
was the
YouTube
world's
channel?
one.
Yeah.
It was the world's one.
Do you see how many
Oh,
subscribers
it's
they have?
this one.
Yeah.
Tons.
90 million.
Yeah.
Now you want to go to our channel?
Did we pass?
See how many subscribers we have?
No.
Wait, did we pass?
Did we pass live on? No, 18.9.
So Apple has 19, and we have 18.9.
Yeah.
I'll also point out
WWDC
WWDC is coming up.
is good for both of us.
So it's good for both
Yeah,
of
who's
us.
it better for?
They tend to spike higher. Apple will spike higher during an Apple event, but during non-Apple events, we spike, they don't. So if you'd like to give us a little
boost.
make sure you're subscribed to the MKBHD channel.
Pretty
so we can
soon.
pass Apple.
Pretty soon we'll be the ones sending them iPhones.
Yeah, and inviting them to the lab. Anyway, we were gonna do trivia.
Yeah, let's do trivia.
Let's
Do we get Apple when we pass them?
Yeah.
we get Apple.
We are Apple after, and then we can buy ExxonMobil.
ExxonMobil. All right, welcome back to Waveform Trivia. This question, we're going back to an old school style. We're doing a YouTube question. I love them. So Instagram is testing unskippable ads, which has had mixed results for other social media platforms. In 2010, when YouTube first experimented with their TrueView ads program, were these ads skippable?
TrueView ads.
This is the 2010 first rollout of mid-roll and pre-roll advertising.
So it's just yes or no?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, skippable
Or no.
unskippable.
Or no? That's what I was
Or
thinking
no.
too. But you said it faster than me.
Dang.
I
Well,
actually
I
just wasn't going to
interrupted
say it
him.
at all.
I don't remember.
Do you remember when OnePlus turned your video into an ad
Yes.
Yeah.
without telling us?
and we didn't make any money on it.
Yeah, and it nuked the average retention. Absolutely nuked it. 20-minute video.
You should
45
not
second
be
average
allowed to
retention.
That's
do
so
that
messed
for
up.
other people's videos. That's crazy.
Man. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll think about that. The answers, as usual, will be after the episode. We'll be right back.
But after you subscribe and like the video.
They'll only be available after
Yeah,
you like and
true.
subscribe.
You'll never know if you don't subscribe.
Support for Waveform comes from Netsuite. So running a business is expensive. You got to figure out how to manage rising costs for your materials, keep your staff happy, and more, all while keeping an eye on the bottom line. And if that all sounds too familiar, you might want to check out NetSuite. NetSuite is a top-rated cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one platform and one source of truth. So with NetSuite, you can reduce IT costs because NetSuite lives in the cloud with no hardware required, accessed from anywhere. You can cut the cost out of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one unified business management suite. Plus, NetSuite can help you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. Over 37,000 companies have already made the move, so do the math for yourself. See how you'll profit with NetSuite. By popular demand, NetSuite has extended its one-of-a-kind flexible financing program for a few more weeks, so head to netsuite.com/waveform. That's netsuite.com/waveform. netsuite.com/waveform. All right, welcome back. We should talk about WWDC. So last year we did a WWDC predictions video, and it was really fun, and then we all got to be wrong about everything, so we can do that again. Next week is WWDC, so if you're listening to this right as it drops, this is a Friday episode. Monday is
AI.
WWDC. And well, I am expecting
AI
in spades. I think we got a little glimpse, a little taste of this when the M4 iPad event happened, and they said AI a surprising amount of times in that one keynote or like pre-recorded video. It was like a 20-minute video. This is the Worldwide Developer Conference. They're going to talk about a lot of software, as they always do: iOS, iPadOS, tvOS, macOS, whatever. They're going to name something weird with macOS like they always do. But we also expect to see a bunch of AI and software features shown to us in a way that we haven't really seen from Apple in a long time. Maybe a new Siri. So we can talk through some WWDC rumors and predictions and see how accurate we are shortly after this comes out.
Let's start with iOS, I guess, because the fun thing about WWDC that I just want to point out, Google I/O also used to do, but now that they just shifted everything to Gemini as a product, and Gemini is just getting put in all their stuff, we didn't really get to see a bunch of different like product categories from Google and like all the separate updates they're making to different apps and stuff like that. Yeah. It was just like Gemini tokens.
Maybe that's what Siri becomes.
Oh god.
Because you know how we have Siri shortcuts?
Right.
We could have Siri this, Siri that, Siri this, and Siri that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I still, the fun thing about WWDC is they have all of these apps that they update with an iOS version, which is really interesting. Like the way Google does it is they just update apps on an individual basis, and you don't usually have to wait for a new version of Android for it to work. But Apple, for some reason, is just like, all the apps are just going to update with the new iOS, which is interesting.
I think
it's fun for an event.
It's also one of the subtle things that keeps everybody updating their phones. Every single
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Right.
Yeah. iOS is probably the biggest ecosystem that's going to be updated at WWDC this year.
No, tvOSs.
Vision OS.
Why are you laughing?
There is apparently a big Vision OS update, which is interesting. So I was kind of going through a lot of these rumor websites. Mac Rumors had a really good roundup that we can list in the description. So I'm just going to read off a number of the ones that they specifically said
Let's do it.
were rumored.
Let's see it.
Okay.
I will and when you go through these, I'm going to see if I remember Google doing it first or not.
Well, I was just going to say, just
from the start of it.
Yeah, okay. Unwanted object removal.
In Photos?
Yes.
On your phone?
Yes.
As a feature in the Photos app?
Yes.
Google did it.
Can I just say, it would be so funny if the example they used was taking away chain link.
That would be incredible.
It will never happen, but it would be.
But
if I were there, I would stand up and clap and run around.
That'd be
honestly, that would be all time. Like if they
That would be
actually
all time.
launched that, the amount of like behind the scenes trolling of everyone who works for those companies, how much they get to celebrate.
I also think that was 2012 that Google did that.
No, because I was at the I/O, so I'm guessing. I thought it was like 17 or 18.
But okay, yeah. So Google currently has that feature shipping.
Yep.
I like that idea. Great.
Voice memo transcriptions.
So you know how there's a voice recorder app on the phone?
On the Pixel?
And you record your voice, and then it immediately tells you in text what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, Google does that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Forgot. Suggested replies in emails. And messages.
So you're saying there's like an email app built into the phone, and it like reads the context of the email and it gives you like a suggested reply before you even type it?
Yeah.
And then you just hit it and hit send?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Google does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
wow.
Gmail.
Okay, well, we'll try another one.
Okay.
I both love and hate this game.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to AI assisted writing in Pages.
So you're saying they have like a word processing app,
Yeah.
and it can help you write a bunch of stuff just by like spitting out some prompt, or just like a bunch of things based on your prompt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Google does that. Google Docs.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. AI assistant slide deck creation.
Oh, so you're saying there's like a slide deck app where you can make presentations?
Yeah.
And it can like help you make presentations by filling it out and like adding things based on what's in your presentation.
This one's like unique to Apple, right?
Oh yeah, Google has that.
What?
Yeah, Google Slides.
I'm just a live stream of this at WWDC would bang. It would be the greatest live video ever.
Okay. How about AI assisted code writing in Xcode?
Oh yeah. So you're saying they have like a maybe some sort of assistant that can write code.
Yeah.
And it can use AI to help make really good code.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Google does that. Gemini writes code.
It's not really good code, workable code.
It makes some type of code.
It helps.
It can do some code.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Google Vertex is? Their developer
Yeah.
assistant.
Oh.
The real question is, all of these things, are they... I know, the awe needs to go on the soundboard, 100%.
No, I'm wrong. Vertex is not like Xcode.
Sorry.
Project IDX. Project IDX is their like AI kind of code forward thing. But yeah, they have AI coding stuff basically.
Okay. How about summarization of Safari pages?
Oh, you're saying so there's a web browser, and you have this whole long web page.
Yeah.
But you can use AI to summarize that web page, maybe like a few quick bullet points.
Totally new
something like
feature,
that.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Chrome does that.
What?
Yeah, like 2 years ago they started doing that. Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Okay.
It is actually pretty good.
But
I use that feature.
really?
Yeah, for like a super long article on something I needed like one bullet from.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
interesting. Okay. Well, how about this? Summarized generative emojis based on the message you're sending.
Did Google not just announce this?
I
Like AI generated emojis, wasn't that a thing?
I think
think it might have been a rumor you read about the Apple.
Oh, I think it was.
Yeah.
there's also, you're saying it's AI generative based on the context of the, so it's not creating a new emoji, just because I know there's also the AI generated emojis.
So it wouldn't
that
be
are,
in the like emoji set. It would just be like a sticker.
that combines emoji looking things.
Oh,
I think.
I don't think it's like Emoji Kitchen. I think it's literally creating an image based on what you're sending, like a dolly kind of thing, but it just adds it as a little sticker.
oh, that's not what I was thinking.
That's my assumption, but I could be completely off base.
I thought it was going to be.
Like understanding the emoji that you should send based on what was being talked about.
I don't think so.
Based out of
generated emojis is what it said. Generative emojis. I think that it's using like a dolly-esque backend to create like a small sticker the size of an emoji that could be sent.
God,
as a
my friend
reaction.
John's gonna have the greatest time with this.
Yeah.
Your friend Ellis is gonna have the greatest.
Yeah.
I feel
Well, I think John and Ellis would be great
I feel
friends.
mixed about it because I feel like it's going to be fun, but having the computer just automatically doing it is kind of weird. But
There should be a thing where you turn that on and it just auto sends the emojis whenever it thinks it's generating something, and you can't turn it off. So now your conversations just have random emojis that it thinks it has to do with.
okay, summarize notifications and missed messages.
Summarize notification. Oh, like the humane pin.
Yeah.
First, you have to get the messages to the pin,
Catch
which
me
doesn't
up.
happen.
Catch me up. No, so I technically I think this would be something Google doesn't do, right?
I
Summarize notifications is. I mean,
don't
right
think
now they're
they do it
grouped.
right now.
Yeah.
Samantha does it.
True.
Oh,
If you guys watch
her?
the movie.
Oh,
he's
for
like,
real?
What? Yeah. He watched,
Because you need to. Literally, there's a point in the movie where the Samantha, the AI, is like, "Oh, they gave me an update. Like, I can generate pictures and audio now."
yeah. And he's like hanging out with friends, and then she's like, Hey, I got to tell you something. Can you step out for a sec? He steps outside and he's like, what did I miss? And she's like, well, you have 3 new emails from this person. This one seemed a little important, like blah, blah, blah. It's like literally.
Okay, I'm gonna make a commitment to you guys. I'm gonna watch her on the plane on the way to WWDC.
Yes.
Let's go.
You just have to tell me where to find it.
Marcus is gonna
I
watch
think
this
it's
movie.
on the plane,
Oh,
but I'm not sure.
but if it's not, then I'm
You
screwed.
can rent it.
well,
on
you can
YouTube,
rent it.
probably.
Actually, if you want, I own it on Google Play Movies and TV. So
Well,
you can
I'm bringing
log
my
into
iPad.
I think
so
Ellis
we'll
is the
find a way to-
VHS of it.
We'll find a way to get on.
You can log into my account.
It came out in 2013.
Okay. Okay. Semantic spotlight search.
Semantic spotlights. Oh,
Asus has this on their phones.
Oh.
Which is amazing.
oh, so it's like a feature where you can search your whole phone, but it can search like apps and inside apps and like contacts and messages and all that stuff. Oh yeah.
And also like if you use a word that isn't the word of the app, but it's related to it, it'll pull it up anyway.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asus has that. It's really nice.
That's good.
Auto-generated Apple Music playlists.
Completely useless feature,
Correct.
but probably also Google does it somewhere.
And
Like music.
Spotify.
They do in YouTube Music.
Yeah.
yeah, so this is all the AI features that are supposed to be added to iOS. Just to be clear, there are a few more features that are rumored.
Oh, wait, you missed one. This one says takes a screenshot every 5 seconds.
Microsoft. Okay, and finally, Siri 2.0, which we talked about briefly before. They struck a deal with OpenAI to use OpenAI for Siri, apparently, which apparently that deal only went through last week, which is crazy.
Weren't the rumors that it was going to be using Gemini?
It was at first.
Yeah.
And then apparently they struck the deal with OpenAI. And then apparently Satya Nadella didn't know that Sam Altman made this deal. And Satya like freaked out at Sam and was like, you can't let Apple do this. And Sam was like, peace, brother. So that's interesting.
This could be the biggest update in years for the iPhone. unironically.
Yeah.
Like Siri
Yeah,
had
yeah.
this moment when it launched where it was super interesting and it had all this potential. And there were I remember there was like tons of YouTube videos of people testing it, like amazed that they had a voice assistant. And we all went through this early thing where like, oh my God, I have a voice assistant on my phone. And then it just flatlined and it just was not getting better.
Yeah.
And Siri has been bad for so long.
Yeah.
And I feel like ideally this is an inflection point for Siri where we can slowly start getting back to Siri being good, maybe? Like not just being accidentally triggered all the time.
Yeah.
I would be really happy about that.
It'd be nice. It would already be ahead of Gemini if it could like control your home stuff.
The HomePod would be an okay product if Siri wasn't garbage.
Yeah.
Think about that.
The HomePod
That'd
Mini.
be cool.
He's at MKBHD on all social platforms. Yell at him, please.
The HomePod's not. The HomePod's not good.
I do. Okay.
There are a lot of people that love that thing.
I want to say the
But not
HomePod
because
Mini.
I agree, though. I agree, but I'm
HomePod
just
Mini
saying.
has very, very good audio quality.
Yep.
And, you know, if you're just using it to like control your smart home and be a thread border router and play music every now and then, it's a pretty good product. Also,
6 times as much as a home.
what?
A Google
It
Home?
costs so much more than
It's
a Google
$100.
Home. It wasn't
A
100.
Google Home is
The Mini
free.
is 100.
Pretty much.
I think.
Is it 99 now? The HomePod Mini?
Yeah, $99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I bet if you wanted a Google Home Mini, you could get it for free within 30 minutes.
I will say I have like 15 Google Home Minis that I don't know what to do in my apartment. I literally gave Ellis one.
Hey.
Because they just throw them through my window.
Yeah, it's like
I hear a crash in the middle of the night.
it's like the
just like
it's like the tooth fairy. You just wake up in the morning and they feel a lump in your pillow, and there's a Google Home
I'm
Mini.
not, it's
David
crazy.
walks up to his Tesla in the morning and the windows are shattered. He's like, someone broke into my car. And he looks in the window and there's 3.
And they all have
Google
notes
Homes.
rubber banded to them.
Yeah. So okay. I want to defend the Apple HomePod Mini because I think it's actually a really good product.
Do you think it's a good product or a good speaker?
It's a good speaker. I like that I can control all my home products with it, and you can use it as a thread border router, which is awesome.
So you have your smart home ecosystem is in the Apple Home.
It's in both, which is scary
Oh,
and
interesting.
dangerous. Yeah, because
That's impressive.
I have everything updated to Matter, so it's
That's
okay.
impressive.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so-
put a lot of work into this.
So for a product, I'd say it's fine because it can do that for you and it can be a good speaker for music, and that's cool. I just think if it had a good assistant, it would. Because half of what I do with these speakers is like the basic assistant stuff, and it's just got to be okay at that. And Siri is frankly not unusable, but it's pretty close. It's pretty bad at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think if Siri was actually good, it would make all of the products that have Siri on them better.
They could push ahead of Google because Google now, for some freaking reason, still has a separation between Google Assistant, which they have frankly just completely forgotten exists, and then Gemini, which is their whole new company is based around Gemini, but still can't turn on and off your home product.
It's still baffling they had a
What?
2-hour event about Gemini and not what they couldn't just say like it can turn your on.
like
It can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have to choose between one or the other as your assistant, but then if you choose Gemini, you can't control your home is freaking insane.
Google is like that meme of like the guy holding hands with the girl but looking at the other girl, and like a Gemini, and they're holding hands with the assistant. Like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Then
I
where-
completely forgot.
Where would you put Bard in that meme?
In the graveyard.
yeah.
Drowning behind both of them.
That's
The Bard one is the like slapping the hand that's drowning.
I thought you were gonna say the like peace signs over the gravestone.
Yeah.
I will say a small update to Android recently. They did add widgets for home controls on Android this week.
Oh.
So now you can have them on your home screen. And my theory is that they only did that because Gemini still can't do it. And people were so annoyed at that they needed some sort of way to operate their home assistant products.
I might finally put something on my home screen.
Yeah. I use it on my phone all the time, not on my iPhone, for like my home products as well. So iOS has had that for a while, which is crazy because HomeKit is not that built out compared to like Google Assistant stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We need Gemini to start doing that basic stuff.
But yeah, so they could easily pull ahead of the Google Assistant / Gemini duo-ness, Gemini-ness to Assistant.
I think a lot about how Apple really not that they're the only company that does this, but they think a lot about the presentation of like how they want to share this with the regular people, the 300 million people that are going to think about buying an iPhone, and how they present like a future roadmap, because they don't tend to initiate new things without having some sort of vision of the future. And so I'm ultra curious about how a company like Apple presents a multimodal AI assistant on your phone versus how a company like Google does it. Like, we saw how Google does it. We've seen how OpenAI does it. We've seen how Microsoft would do it. Screenshots. Now we get to see how a company like Apple presents something like this on a phone.
I'm very interested if they present it in a very subtle, like, quality of life way, because I think that that's how all of this AI stuff is eventually going to like settle. Is it's not going to be flashy in your face. It's just going to be, we're upgrading all the stuff that you could already do, but it's now better.
Yeah. I have two things that I think they'll do. I think one is a little more specific, which came from when I watched that iPad event. You know, they said AI like so many times. We were like, oh, they've said AI a bunch of times. And they like to remind people, we've always been about AI. And we're like, really though? Have you?
Yeah.
But they've had a neural engine on the iPad, and they announced that one feature where it's like you can take a photo of a document and it will AI remove the shadow of the iPad on the document. And that, something little like that, is an AI feature. But you don't have to take 7 images like an app would make you take before.
Google Photo Scan.
And it's helpful, and it's a real feature that you use every day. And I think that's probably mostly how Apple will show AI things, as real world examples of functional product, basically.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is there's just so many open-ended questions of what we were talking about before, like the horrible examples that these companies give about, oh, it'll help you write a poem about a loved one or something that was. And
post a social
you're supposed
media
to,
post of your dog and have it write a caption.
Yeah, it's just a very generic example because these models are so powerful and they can do so many things.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Apple just gives us that open-ended thing. Like, can we just talk to Siri and Siri will just start saying some wild off-the-cuff stuff? Or are they just going to restrict it heavily to just the features?
I would say the latter.
Yeah, probably.
But it is interesting considering they only like struck this deal like a week ago. So
if that's true, that's going to be, I mean, what can they even show?
I don't know.
They're going to be freaking out over there, like writing demos now.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So that's all of the AI focused stuff on the iPhone, but there is other stuff that is supposed to be changing on the iPhone. On the home screen, apparently.
Oh, I saw this.
And I didn't even realize that you couldn't do this, which just shows that neither did Rich, to be fair. Like,
Put your icons anywhere?
Yeah. I showed him at lunch yesterday and he was like, oh my God. And so for those that don't know, on the iPhone, you cannot put apps anywhere on your home screen. They have to be in like in order of the grid, and they just keep getting put next to the other one.
They snap left.
Yeah, they snap left. And you can rearrange the order of which they are snapped left, but you cannot just like, oh, I want something to be more reachable, so I'm going to put it in the bottom right corner. That's something that has not existed on iOS before, which is frankly insane.
It's kind of a meme. Like if they announce this, like, okay, with iOS 18
using AI,
you will finally be able to put icons anywhere on your home screen.
It's a reason
the Android community has already they've already made the memes that they're going to post about this, about how it took them 15 years. But it's like, this feature is what Apple would say lets you either ruin your home screen by making it a disaster, or if you're an Android user, lets you customize it to make it amazing.
Yeah.
Just make it amazing.
I think the old version of Apple, the like Johnny Ive version of Apple, was very much about, we know what's best for you, so we're going to give you less control, but it will be perfect.
Yeah.
And now
every iPhone looks the same.
Yeah. And they're starting to venture out in different ways, like in iOS 16 when they added the new home, not home screens, but lock screens and all that stuff, and all the customization you could do with lock screens and widgets and all this stuff. I think they're finally like, all right, we got to start doing this stuff. So that is rumored, which is exciting, even though it shouldn't be. Okay, there are apparently going to be a few visual design tweaks that take cues from Vision OS, because I think that they're trying to move everything towards this kind of translucent panel schema, just to get people more and more used to that paradigm over time.
I thought that would just be Vision OS with all the glassy.
I think they're trying to move everything towards that glassy.
I'm sure they want everything to look similar at some point. Whether do you make things look more like Vision OS or do you make Vision OS start to look more like it'll all just meld into
I feel like there's always been kind of a distinction. Like Mac OS, nothing looks like Mac OS. I mean, some of it looks similar. Like you have icons and you have windows that have a certain curve radius and all that. But I feel like they've always had Mac OS look different from iOS, look different from Vision OS, look different from TV OS.
But I feel like everything is sort of starting to like meld. Like on the Mac, you now have widgets on the Mac that look just like the widgets.
That's also true. Yeah, it just looks like an iPhone.
Yeah, I think a few iOSs ago they started to bring it closer to iPhone land.
Yeah,
especially when they redid the system preferences
and the
notification in the stack.
Yeah, in the center, in the what is it called? Control Center.
Control Center.
Control Center, when they changed to this vibe, is very
That's true. But nobody liked that. Remember that? Like when they first announced it.
Yeah,
they had
stuff.
It was like, wait a minute, this looks like a touch interface.
Yeah,
but it's not. But it's like, this is great for my hands, but I have a mouse.
It's a good thing Mac has a touchscreen laptop.
Yeah.
It's a really, really
the
good
iPad.
thing they did.
Okay. All right.
That is such a deep rabbit hole we avoided. I'm glad we didn't step. We like walked over that, but without like stepping into it.
Yeah. Marquez, why can't you put Mac OS on the iPad?
Well, you see,
to sell stuff. Okay, so the settings apps of pretty much all the platforms are apparently going to be completely redesigned.
That's very good.
Yeah,
because they're bad now.
Yeah, they're bad. Nobody likes them right now. And finally, maybe, potentially, we'll finally see RCS. Maybe, potentially, maybe. I would love it. It would be great.
There's still like zero update, right?
Yeah, they said
they announced it. They're like
Google leaked
2024.
it. Google leaked Apple's roadmap by saying spring, because on the Google Messages website it said in spring 2024 Apple will be bringing RCS, which will allow us to interoperate better.
Do you know there's always like cheers for certain things
or
at
fall,
WWDC?
sorry, fall, not spring.
Fall.
Yeah.
Do you know like people cheer about things at WWDC? Do you think there's any chance this gets a boo for some reason?
No, because Apple presents it in a way that's very like self-serving.
It's just like, the majority of people there probably are iOS users and don't really give a damn about RCS.
It's just going to be David going "Yay" from off in the back corner.
And everyone else is like,
someone whose mom has an Android
what's
phone,
RCS?
basically.
I will streak to the front of the stage.
it'll be the guy
you just
who
lost your invite.
The guy who said their mom can't send messages to their mom. They'll be like, oh, finally, like my grandma with an Android phone, I can get like pictures from her now.
Yeah.
I
just
bought her an iPhone.
want this really bad, and it's coming. It's close.
Soon.
It's close. I'm hoping that it's in the developer beta that gets released at WWDC, because now that they let everybody use developer betas, I will just go to all my friends and I'll say like, look over there, and then I'll update their phone to the developer beta.
And then they're gonna be like, why doesn't my phone work anymore?
It just crashes.
Starts glitching.
Yeah.
Why are my icons everywhere?
Cool. So that's pretty much all the rumors for iOS. There's not a lot of other stuff for the other platforms. We have some stuff. macOS is supposed to get very similar AI enhancements, but they're pretty tame, and the feature updates are going to be similar to the iPhone potentially. For iPadOS, it's also much of the same. However, the new iPadOS version may finally get that new calculator that we were hoping to see.
Is there an actual rumor of that, or are we?
Yeah,
just...
there is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sad I'm gonna miss WWDC.
Android has a calculator. WatchOS 11 is also not supposed to be a big update, because last year at WWDC we got the massive update and the
Snoopy.
Yeah, the Snoopy update. And the Apple Watch Series X is going to come out this year, so that will probably be a big hardware change. So there's really no reason to update the software substantially right now.
This is one of my pet peeves with Apple. I don't know how much I want to get into this rabbit hole, but they are so locked into their schedules that now product updates don't make sense, but they have to do it anyway because of their schedule. Like we got the new M4 iPad, but no iOS update until WWDC. Why? Just wait until they announce them at the same time.
I think that was to fight Qualcomm, personally.
Well, this iPad release was also a really weird one because they skipped a whole year of iPads, and then this one
Right.
Just
and then
kind of
they
came out
wanted to get
randomly.
M4 out in front of all the M3 benchmarks, and then, but
All of these neural cores that don't do anything.
yeah, like we have to wait for the rest of the thing. So now why even update WatchOS at all at WWDC? Because we have to. We do it every year. Well, just don't. There's nothing new to do. Wait till the new watch. That's all.
They can add another Snoopy
That's all.
wallpaper. It'll be fine.
That's all.
Yeah. Vision OS is supposed to be getting Vision OS 2.0, which is very interesting.
Holy smokes, already?
Yeah, that's
Wait, has
what
it been a year or something?
No, that was January. So
Why don't we do like 1.2? What's going on?
I think I don't know if it's officially 2.0. That was people were just saying like it's the biggest update Vision OS has had.
Well,
since it came out.
It's easy to be a big update early on. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There are supposed to be many more first-party apps that are native for Vision OS. There is something where live captions appear in your vision when you're speaking to someone, which is super cool. I think that Apple sees this as like the far future when these are glasses and you can be speaking to someone in a different language and live captions of in your language pop up in front of you.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool. The ability to reorder apps on the home screen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So like I can move one to a different place. That's insane.
Because
that's
terrible
2.0
now.
worthy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's apparently there's going to be a lot more, but not a lot of it has leaked. So
Yeah. Software, they're pretty good at not leaking so much.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is all interesting.
So and then probably no new hardware. They said, which usually there isn't new hardware at WWDC, but last year we did get the new Mac Pro, which has been pretty disappointing. But
The
that's
Apple
how-
Silicon
that's how
Mac
it
Pro.
goes. Yeah,
It's been great.
yeah,
It's overpriced.
yeah,
Almost no one should buy it,
yeah,
but it's pretty good. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's pretty much it for what is leaked for WWDC. However, there was some news that came out this morning that pretty much all of Apple's most recent products all have Thread radios in them, which for those people that don't know what that is, Matter is a new protocol that uses Thread plus Wi-Fi, which is basically a special radio that allows devices to talk to each other directly without having to go up into the cloud, bounce a query off the cloud, and then come back to the device, so that everything in your smart home apartment area can now just interoperate with each other directly through these new protocols, so it can be cross-platform. So you don't have to do like works with HomeKit, works with Google Assistant, works with whatever.
Yeah.
So to get Matter to work, you've had to have a thread border router. And these thread border routers only exist in a few like generally more expensive products. And that's why I said the HomePod Mini is actually a pretty affordable thread border router, because generally you have to have a more expensive product. Apparently, all of Apple's most recent products have thread border routers built in, or thread radios built into them that are just not on yet, which is interesting. So
They did this before too.
yeah,
The second gen iPod Touch had a Bluetooth receiver in it that they just didn't turn on for the first like year of its lifespan.
interesting.
And then
And then in a
turn on
software
later?
update, they were like, iPod Touch has Bluetooth now.
There's something kind of cool that they're just like,
Didn't they also do that with the home?
and it all pops up.
yeah,
The
I feel
HomePod
like
was
they
the
did.
temperature sensor in the HomePod, or the humidity. No, it's temperature, right?
It was something like that.
Something like that.
I feel like they also did this with a thread radio before, or maybe we've just noticed more. They've already
Yeah.
been putting thread radio for like a year. They've been putting thread radios in new devices.
Humidity
Since-
level and temperature, yeah.
Yeah, since September 2023, they've been putting these thread radios in it. So that's interesting, because then it would theoretically allow any of these Apple products to be a thread border router for your smart home. So if you had, say, an iMac, because the iMac has the M3 iMac has the thread border router in it, and that's cool because the iMac is going to be a stationary device that stays in your house. So if you just have the iMac, you don't need to buy anything else. The interesting thing is that like the iPad Pro is going to has it, and the iPad Air has it, and the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pros all have it. So that should theoretically, potentially, maybe we'll see an update to Apple HomeKit where all of your devices have more direct control over your other devices.
That's
Which
interesting.
I think would be awesome. Yeah. So now I think that we should do our own predictions and things that we would like to see as well at WWDC.
We should place bets.
Okay.
I would love to make this competitive.
I know you would.
I feel like betting on the number of times
my-
they say AI is like too easy though. We should think of something more.
I actually think it's pretty tough because who knows how we have references for Google, but we don't for Apple.
Apple's very in between now too, because they said it a few times at the iPad event, but not like
wasn't it like 8 times or whatever?
It was like
one of our trivia questions.
6 or something.
Are we still thinking of AI or just things we want or think will happen?
Anything that you want to predict might happen at DubDub.
Yeah. Mine's hard to do a bet but like Siri's gonna get an update, and I still don't think it's gonna be that good.
Yeah,
That's my like prediction.
Yeah.
I think it's going to like
prediction.
possibly be hype enough for people to do a bunch of tests, and then it's gonna be underwhelming. I don't know if there's a bet involved in that because that's pretty subjective. Yeah, but
that's fair though. I think that's a good. That's an easy one to keep an eye on because we can try it.
Yeah. Apple relying on, like, this is a little side note, but Apple relying on another company to be the foundation of anything that they do is kind of crazy because they have the money.
Yeah, but it comes from the precedent of all the data.
Yeah,
Apple's not the one collecting, scraping, like doing all this data gathering.
People trust Apple. People don't trust OpenAI.
It's just
also true.
Wild because they're relying, because like if the foundation of Siri is OpenAI and then something crazy happens to OpenAI.
Well, we don't know for sure the foundation of Siri. Remember we talked before about like what will what will they actually help with?
Right.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
So they're partnering with OpenAI. We don't 100. Do we want to do that? Do we think OpenAI
how deep
is involved into Siri? Let's just say straight Siri because that's something we 100% will know by. Yeah,
I think there's. So I think there's no way it's 1-to-1. It's no way Siri is now just a portal to OpenAI.
Yeah. No way. But
So
do you think OpenAI is inside of Siri and using it? I guess I don't know if that's even a good
way.
Question.
It feels kind of like it could be in the same vein as like Wolfram Alpha, where like it can do certain math things, it can do certain special sections of things. You know,
it can do ChatGPT things. Like
yeah.
It feels weird as like a partnership though. Like that feels bigger than just that.
Yeah. What if the bet is over under 5? How many times they say OpenAI?
Open under.
Oh, 5's such a.
I'm taking the under.
You're
taking under.
Yeah.
Under.
Okay, so let's say 2.
No, I think 5 is.
No, I think 5's a real.
5
well,
good?
4.5 or 5 because you got to give a half.
If you said it at 2.5, I'm taking the under.
Okay. Really?
2.5.
2.5.
I think they're gonna say it twice. Once at the beginning and once at the end.
I'll go over.
No, it's that if they say it 3, you're over.
You just have to give away that they can't hit it.
Oh,
and so you have to.
So you think they'll say it 3 times?
I think they'll say it.
Like actually say OpenAI.
I think they'll say it 3 times. Yeah,
2 or 3 is a good.
I'm going over 5.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, is it 5 or is it 2.5?
What's the number? 4.5.
I think 4.5 is a good number.
Okay.
4.5.
David's under.
Under.
Yeah.
I'm under. You're over.
I'll go over.
Ellis is under.
Okay.
I'm with you, Marquez. If it was 2.5, I'd still take the under.
Yeah.
I will say, do you remember when 5G
That's
came?
exactly the example I was going to use. I'm going over.
5G wasn't a company though. This is they have to talk about another company.
Yeah, and to be fair, the person that said 5G the most was the Verizon representative that was on stage.
He went.
When Sam Altman walks on stage, you guys are gonna be like, "I'm cooked on this
So
bet."
there's no way that happens. I think there's no way that happens.
5G.
It could be some random representative, though, talking about their integration with Apple and blah, blah, and OpenAI really values your privacy.
What if Craig Federighi pulled a mask off and it was Sam Altman?
I just think it's so uncontrollable. Like the time that they did the 5G thing with Verizon, that was the least Apple-like thing I've ever seen in an iPhone keynote.
Yeah.
Because it was so out of their usual control. And I think if they were to anytime they bring a company on stage, it's usually a developer who's been working behind the scenes to develop like a new game or an app for the new OS. Like that's what they're going to do at this DubDub.
Or a new GPT.
I feel... Yeah.
It also, but to go on that is it's someone outside of Apple on a live stage. Now it's someone outside of Apple on a thing that they can edit down after because it's video and post-production.
Which is all true, but it's just this person can now go out and keep doing more this person things. And if it's a developer, they are usually pretty safe about they just keep doing developer things. And if it's Sam Altman, who knows?
My thing we bet on is, does Sam Altman come out on stage?
No shot. No chance.
I think he does.
They do not platform
No
that.
way.
No way.
I think he does.
Dude.
They have
I'll
the
be
Verizon representative.
Yeah,
I
that
don't think it's
guy-
out of the question, but I would be so
No,
sad
no,
if that
no,
happened.
I think OpenAI is in a bigger power position than Apple is here.
I think they want to showcase all of the powerful possibilities of it without showing the people. Because the second you put someone memorable, like the CEO of a different company, on your stage, that's a huge statement.
With Verizon, though.
I think this has to be someone.
Maybe it
I think
was
if they
CEO
bring
Verizon.
anyone from OpenAI on stage, it would be a senior level engineer type of person who can speak to how powerful the new things are in the new phone. I don't think they would bring. Yeah, I don't think they would do it. Yeah,
I think he's going to come on stage.
I would bet.
Let's bet.
I would. It just doesn't feel like
Let's
WW
bet.
is the spot. I would take the bet.
Let's bet.
I would bet. No, Sam.
So
That's my
everyone
bet.
says no. David says yes.
I say yes.
Okay.
I hope not. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to put that into the ether.
Yeah.
No, Sam.
It's just, Apple really avoids doing anything controversial, and I do.
That's why
agree
they
with
crushed
you.
all those instruments.
Yeah, but it's like I feel you, David. Like OpenAI is sort of like the darling child techno Jesus.
They
of
were.
Silicon Valley.
I feel like they're
think this-
falling from grace right now.
Just like
a little bit.
I don't know.
People are getting a little tired of all this.
I just looked it up. It was the Verizon CEO.
Yeah,
was the
I'm
CEO?
not surprised it's the CEO.
I have no idea who this person is, but they are the
That's
CEO
why
of
they
Verizon.
allowed him on stage.
That's crazy. Wow.
Online.
I feel like it makes sense bringing him in though, because like the iPhone needs a carrier, right? So
Yeah.
like they need that. The iPhone, like Apple could do their own AI stuff. This is a partnership, but maybe they're not pumped about saying.
I do
that
think
it's a
that's
partnership.
I do think that's the challenge. Is Siri is so bad because of Apple's stance on not collecting, on not scraping, on not like gathering all this data. So I think they do need a partner to make Siri good.
so that someone else can scrape and collect. And,
Yes.
and then it's not us.
That's why the default search engine on Safari is not Apple's search engine. It's someone else who does search engines well. You know?
Fair.
And because they pay them $10 billion a year.
That's one of my hot takes. If Google didn't pay Apple a dime, would they really change it to something else?
I feel like
That's actually I really don't think they would.
I think they would.
Because
I think they
Microsoft
have
would
it-
pay for Bing.
I think they have it ready to go. And if the Department of Justice like forces them to not be able to pay them to do that, I bet you Apple just hits a button
And makes it
Apple
what?
search.
makes their own search engine?
Yeah, they probably have it ready already.
Because I think if Bing is the default search engine on the iPhone, that is such a joke to them. Like that would not go over well.
Yeah, but that the other point is that like Apple's whole thing is we don't collect your data, and search engines are just made to collect data. So
Yeah.
I guess
So if you're going to have a search engine on the iPhone, just make it the one that's the best.
If 2019 Marquez went into the future, like 2024, and Bing was the default search engine on the iPhone, you would just be like, oh, the world ended. Okay.
Yeah. Like, what universe are we in? That would be
Okay, I
insane.
have my prediction for Dub.
Shoot.
We finally get competitions on the Apple Watch.
Group competition?
Group
Yes.
competition. It's not a big
chat.
year. They don't have a lot of updates. They have to fill up time.
I like that prediction.
This would be the one that everyone talks about with Apple Watch. Like, oh, you can now do group competitions.
You don't think they're going to save it for Watch X?
I don't think so.
Such a small feature.
If they did group competitions, I would be so happy.
No
Did
shot.
we ever think of a reason why they haven't done it yet?
Oh yes.
We have a theory.
I
We have a
this-
theory.
I had this conspiracy theory because Nike has group
right.
running competitions,
And
and
they don't want to step on the toe.
they don't want to like overlap with features because they have this weird relationship with Nike where like they subtly push you towards the Nike Run Club and Nike Fitness Club apps because they have settings for those apps built into the Apple Watch, even though the apps aren't pre-installed.
Yeah.
And those apps are all about community, all about like having racing against your friends and whatever, even though the community features are really, really bad. And the UXs for them are awful and that app is terrible in every way. I still think that Apple just doesn't want to like overlap with Nike. I wish they would. I wish they would add training plans and all this stuff, but I think that's the reason. It would be great. I would love to see that. That'd be great. Even though it would force me to wear an Apple Watch again, which would suck. But
I like that prediction, Adam. It's
Yeah.
a good one. Well, we should take. We've been going on about
Yeah,
Dub for a while. We should take a quick break. We'll do some trivia before we do, and then we'll come back to update our soundboard. But
Yeah.
first,
We also have a Discord channel if anyone else wants to make predictions.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. We're gonna add a
WWDC.
Dub.
Yeah, we're adding it early. So if anyone listens to this and has any other predictions, go throw them in there.
or in the comments section.
Trivia time.
Trivia. All right. I'm changing it up.
I got an email one time from a guy that said, "Can you keep saying dude at the end again?"
Really?
Yeah, he
No.
liked it.
At the end of
Okay, fine.
Trivia, dude.
Trivia, dude. So,
Thank you.
question
I
number
don't
2.
like change, please.
Pretty sure we all have YouTube Premium, right?
Yeah.
Premium.
Correct. Premium, dude. Yay, no ads for us. Okay, but the question, what is the max length that an unskippable ad on YouTube can be?
Dang.
I feel like I've seen screenshots.
Unskippable?
Absurd.
Unskippable.
Like you have to watch the entire thing.
Yep.
Okay.
What is the maximum length that it could be? Because there's a range.
We're going by policy or
Yeah, by their actual policy.
Okay.
Is it Delta?
No.
Because I feel like I've seen.
Well,
Closest without going over.
I feel like I've seen a screenshot of like an hour-long unskippable, and I think that was not supposed to happen. I think that was out of policy.
An hour long.
Unskippable?
Yeah, there's like in the YouTube subreddit just like a screenshot of like I just got a 58-minute unskippable.
I have some stuff like that.
I'm like,
yeah.
well, that should never happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's out of policy. But
Interesting.
we'll place our guesses.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. Support for Waveform comes from Shopify. Have you ever noticed that no one says online shopping anymore? Like online shopping used to be a thing. It was new, it was different, it was extraordinary. Now it's just shopping. So that means that business owners have a critical need to figure out how to reach customers online and convert sales from afar. Shopify can help with that. Shopify is a global commerce platform that can help your business grow no matter what stage you're at. The platform makes it easier than ever to sell everywhere, combining a class-leading e-commerce platform with an adaptable in-person point-of-sale system. According to Shopify, they can help convert more browsers into buyers with a checkout process that performs 36% better than comparable commerce platforms. And when you factor in Shopify Magic, the platform's AI-powered helper, you can expect to sell more with less effort. More than 10% of all e-commerce companies in the US have turned to Shopify to power their growth. See why for yourself today. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/waveform. So go to shopify.com/waveform now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/waveform. Support for Waveform comes from Miro. So building a strong team is no easy task, and when you complete that first big project together, that's cause for celebration. But nothing cuts the good times short quite like a dreaded retrospective. It can be demotivating to see the same issue appear over and over again. Enter Miro. Miro is the visual collaboration platform that can help you run effective, engaging, and actionable retrospective. So with features like templates and icebreakers, private mode, and note summaries, Miro lets you easily and comprehensively share issues, express ideas, and solve problems together. Make sure every team member's voice is heard with group facilitation tools like voting and timers. And all in all, Miro can help you innovate faster and feel stronger as a team. Whether you work on product design, engineering, UX, agile, or marketing, bring your team together on Miro. So your first 3 Miro boards are free when you sign up today at Miro.com. That's 3 free boards at Miro.com.
Welcome back. Producers here, Ellis and Adam. We typically take our favorite parts of the episodes and send them to each other in Slack. So we had way too many clips of amazing waveform moments, just like burning a hole in our computer, and we put them in the soundboard sometimes. We thought it'd be fun to show you some of our favorite waveform moments taken out of context. And if there are any that you feel absolutely need to be in the soundboard, leave us a little comment below. But we have some that I think are really, really good and just don't really like have a place in the soundboard because they're too long, like this one.
Wait, was it the what's the group of boys club thing?
Not that either.
Okay.
It was originally an athletic conference.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought that was you talking. Oh,
I remember that.
yeah, that can't be a soundboard
We were
clip.
talking about Ivy Leagues. That's
Yeah.
what
Oh,
that's way too long to be
No, that's what I'm saying. These are the
okay.
ones that I thought were hilarious.
Go east.
East.
Sorry, no. Doesn't matter which way you go. Go west.
West.
From the Philippines.
Iceland.
Yeah.
But let's just kick things off, I guess. And then
We
I'll
need
pass
some new
the-
things on our
Iceland.
soundboard.
we need some new things in our soundboard, like perhaps this.
That's just embarrassing. I can't believe you brought that back up.
You know, they are pretty topical. Here's another one from our friend Marquez Brownlee.
2000 and
I don't remember what he was reacting to.
somebody's birth year.
David, here's one of my favorites from you.
Oh no. Bad. No, don't do that.
That I think that has to go on the soundboard.
That has high utility.
That's a
factor.
pretty
That's
good
got
one.
huge utility
is
factor.
good on that one.
The utility is pretty good. Here's another one that I think may come up a fair amount of times.
Shut up, Alice!
That was so peaky. Was that me? That was.
Holy crap.
Oh my god.
Here's one of my favorite things that I've ever said on the podcast. Dog food is like the best or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I got a few more, and yeah, if you want any of these to make it in the soundboard, just let us know in the comments.
But you have to comment below
Yeah.
the exact thing that was said to make sure we know which one.
like this.
I'm pretty sure the GameCube had USB-C.
I think the best soundboard there is David saying, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Shut up, Ellis would only work if all of us had that button
exactly.
over here.
That's true. Well,
We all get a button just for.
explaining
you guys have been known to have buttons at your
Have you
table.
heard of sound?
A few more.
It's still a good meme.
There are.
This one I think is Marquez saying still a good meme. I think this one is going to come up a lot in the next few years of tech news.
There are laws.
That was pretty good.
Damn. Do you remember saying that? Like, I don't remember that.
And
Sounds like I'm not sure if there are laws or not.
Yeah.
all right, two more. This, is for when we're having a slow week, maybe.
Oh, that wasn't exciting.
All right, and then I'll round it out with this just gem from episode 191.
Nobody's ever complained about.
Yes, they have.
Oh,
That's
that's a good one.
That's a good
And
one.
without further ado, I pass the cord to my fellow collector, Adam Molina.
fellow soundbite collector, Adam Molina. Adam, yesterday.
Wait, real quick, Rode. You took the 3.5 millimeter jack off of the Rodecaster. Did you see what we just had to do? We just had to pass
took
a
it
cord. We had to pass a cord. They snuck it in the middle of the night and they took it.
They took it.
That's like the one thing
On
I
an
would
audio
never expect
interface?
them to take out.
They left everything else.
They took the 3.5
So the
millimeter
reason
That's wild.
That's
They might as well
insane.
take the XLRs off it.
the reason everyone just saw me hand a USB-C cord to my partner here is because of you.
I just want you to know yesterday, Adam was just by himself at his computer with his headphones on, laughing from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
He was enjoying it.
First,
20 Club.
Oh, I remember that, but I don't
It's
remember what it was about.
Because Marquez and I both got to 20
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
20 points in trivia.
in
I
trivia.
probably never made it there.
Yeah. I don't know if that's useful, but
Yeah, it was fun.
But forgetting how to talk. Timeless
That was
classic.
during an ad read.
that one's a pretty good one for
Nice.
the soundboard. I think.
Yeah, that one's
That could go.
Just every time I forget how to talk.
exactly. Every time there's a blooper, instead of going whoops, we just go
Whoops.
Oh, whoops
The
is,
whoops is epic.
S tier,
Yeah,
yeah.
whoops has to stay.
Yeah.
That one's not replaceable.
Yeah.
You
You
could.
sure as hell can. I feel like that's almost exactly the same as like no one's ever complained about that. Yes, they have. Like,
Yeah.
what was it? That
Same
one was about
vibes.
charging money or for something.
That one in particular?
Yeah.
No one's ever complained about. Yes, I
Make an announcement like with something not existing.
Yeah, with
like, you sure?
like re-release something
Oh,
with
yeah.
lightning instead of USB-C.
Oh
something like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was the iMacs,
It was,
I
it was the
think.
iMac.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was like you can't. They couldn't ship new iMacs without USB-C accessories. You sure as hell could.
That was it.
yeah.
All right, then there's this one.
You can do what you want, kids. You can do anything.
It's inspirational.
Liability wise, I don't like that one. I don't love that.
Every time you say something crazy, imagine if we had a button
Yeah.
to play that
to just
sound.
reinforce it.
Marquez, you worried so much about writing that commencement speech when you had written it months ago.
I could have just hit that
Could have
button.
DJ'd up there with the
Just hit the
soundboard.
buttons. This one though is one of my personal favorites.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think
Commit crimes.
that would work perfectly with "Do what you want, kids," and then Do it right after.
Oh,
Yeah, that was Ellis.
Yeah, there we go.
Saying,
Okay.
better
crowns.
commencement.
Yeah, just put them together.
Yeah.
You're silly.
Don't remember that one.
I remember.
I think you could
We
just
can never bring up the moment when that came from.
Really?
with the amount of sound bites you
later, I
have,
forgot.
David could fall asleep during this podcast, and you could still reply for him for probably everything.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I remember that one.
I do want knobs.
Yeah.
The British are
I'm
gonna
not
have too
making
much.
up a frittata.
You sound equally as defensive as you should have been in that moment.
Yeah.
Are we only counting mouth teeth?
What?
I said that? I thought David said
No,
that.
that's you.
What other teeth?
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Lordstown.
The Lord.
Oh, the
Just in
truck.
general.
Don't forget the
They were
Lordstown.
saying like God's country.
That's what I thought I was saying, but I was like, I don't think I've ever said that.
Lords.
See, that's the thing. It works both ways.
It does.
You might not be smart, but your boat can be. What?
That sounds like a CES thing if I ever heard it.
Buoyancy.
We want the magnets.
We want the magnets. That one's good.
That
I don't really know where it would be useful, but
that
it
could
is
work.
good.
You need to put that in a main channel video.
Yeah.
We want
The next time you use magnet paper, can you just very quietly put "We want the
quietly.
magnets"?
We want the
Ooh,
magnets.
that's a good one. And then this last gem.
Wub. Wub.
I forgot about
Wub.
That was really good.
No, it's good.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
It was
for an ad.
Yeah, I think it was for a song. Or no, it was for a
it's
clips
for the
outro.
clip outro.
Yeah.
And that's it. There we go. Comment your favorite. Which one?
How
should
many
we
are you
add?
adding? 5?
Everything we played.
And
No,
that's
no.
a lot for you. guys.
In total on here, I have, that's 8. I would say I have like 11 spots open right now. 11 or 12 spots.
Damn.
That's plenty.
The 12 that get the most votes
Okay.
will be added to the soundboard.
Okay. So leave a comment quoting the exact one that you think, including the one where I forgot how to talk. You'd have to spell it out. Whichever one has the
Just
most.
copy the transcript, whatever it says. For
That's
that.
a good idea. Yeah, whichever ones have the most likes, we'll add them to the soundboard.
Wait, before we go to trivia, I just found one on my computer that is an old favorite of Andrew's that I would be remiss if I didn't play for him.
Favorite of Andrew's, like I like it, or it's of me.
Like you really like it, and it's of you.
Wow.
Sounds very vain.
Do you have birds?
I got birds, boy.
I remember that pretty well.
That's good.
I was like, damn, Andrew's got birds out here. All right.
We got the birds.
You got games on your phone?
I think David saying no, or what was it? Stop. No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That
That was
like
last
needs
week,
to
I
be
think.
one. That was last week.
Yeah.
Trivia?
Can I steal a whiteboard?
Oh, sorry.
please?
Do
Wow,
trivia.
I didn't even hit the music, and you guys are already.
Oh, I'm ready.
If you say trivia and don't play the music, I assume
I
it's
can't
not
say
playing.
look. Someone separate has to
Trivia.
TRIVIA. So that the dogs don't know.
say. Also, the lights don't work because I keep having to unplug the Rodecaster because some Australian camera company decided to remove.
Are they a camera
Oh,
company?
They're whatever
They're mic company.
But YouTube's first ads in 2010 under the TrueView ads ads. I was going to say program, but
Yeah.
little of this, little of that, tomato. Were the ads skippable with no lights because I had to unplug my computer? Google Assistant. Just kidding. Not yet.
What do you know?
On its way out. On its way out.
Google Street View standalone app. Google On Hub. Duplex on the web. All right, guys.
Also, Jamboard got killed last week, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No, I got killed like 2 months ago
Oh.
because
Yeah.
we used it for
Oh,
our
right.
Frisbee stuff.
You know what else got killed last week? The college I went to. Literally
Oh, yeah.
out of nowhere.
I was so worried what you were
They
gonna
were like,
say.
we're done. If you're a student here, not anymore.
Wow.
Good luck finishing somewhere else. I know, crazy. R.I.P. University of the Arts. David, what did you put?
No.
Wait, as in they were not skippable.
I meant
Are they skippable? Say skip or no skip.
yes. Okay.
Andrew.
I put no.
I wrote
I
no.
put not skippable.
Not skippable. The ads were in fact skippable.
Wow.
Which is what Marquez said.
I wrote skippable.
Oh.
Wow, that was really confusing right there at the end.
Because I wrote unskippable, but the more I thought about it, the more I logicked my way through.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you were an ads company and you were naming it TrueView, then you would want the ability to tell if the
someone skipped an
person
ad.
watched the entire thing.
God, he's good because one of the big features of the program was the creator would only get paid out for ads
watched it.
for ads
Oh.
that were not skipped.
Really?
So you could enable TrueView ads on your video,
God.
and you would get paid more if they were viewed all the way, and the TrueView tech could tell because it didn't get skipped.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is why he's the best. This is why he's in his chair.
That's a point.
Whatever.
That's a point.
And with that,
Whatever.
he takes the lead. Marquez with 10.
Huge.
Andrew and David both tied with 9. All right, next
Yo,
question.
10 club. Oh,
Wow.
my bad.
Wow.
What is the maximum length that an unskippable ad on YouTube can be?
Is that true? Because I've definitely gotten ads longer than that.
Unskippable.
That's what YouTube's webpage says for
We're going
ads.
by policy.
by policy.
policy.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because I've gotten like 15-minute unskippable ads before.
crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that would be
Yeah.
terrible for YouTube. to
I had to
allow
watch an entire video before watching my video.
That's what they did to RetroTech.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's a 45-minute unskippable ad. That's crazy.
That's insane.
I think it was skippable, though.
that. I think it was skippable.
think-
All right,
Skippable.
closest without going over rules, by the way. What you
Oh.
got?
I wrote 30 seconds.
30
No.
seconds.
Is that on the money?
on the money?
Oh,
30
really?
seconds.
Maybe.
Andrew, what'd you write?
Wow.
3 minutes.
David?
2 minutes.
Did you know they do double unskippable? Imagine if you get double.
Doesn't that?
I've gotten that before.
Yeah. So that's kind of a hack. Like you could do a minute.
We're both
straight.
still wrong, even if it's still pulled up from that.
YouTube questions, by the way, which Marquez
Yeah.
is traditionally very good at.
I've never watched YouTube in my life.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you don't have YouTube on your. Oh, you did actually on your.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one who watches YouTube in my
Yeah,
Porsche,
you're the only one
Porsche
who
911
selected it.
Turbo S.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have YouTube.
Well, this was fun. I'm glad we got to learn a little bit. We got to place some bets. We got to make some predictions, and we
Hear
got
some
to talk
sounds.
about and hear some sounds exactly, and talk about unskippable ads at the beginning and the end. Nice little bookends.
Next week is WWDC.
I thought that was a soundboard for some reason. I like turned to make sure you were talking.
It did. Well, anyway, if you're watching this, Dub is coming up. So see you there. See you in the Discord. See you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and hopefully we pass Apple soon. All right. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Waveform is produced by Adam Molina and Ellis Rovin. We're partnered with the Vox Media Podcast Network, and our intro outro music was created by Vane Still.
That's a classic.
And I can make
Legendary.
my
that one
muting.
can't go anywhere.
That one cannot go anywhere.
Everyone's just like, it tastes like dirt, and your mouth gets kind of numb.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it does definitely,
Cool.
definitely, literally tastes like you're drinking dirt. I'm not even joking.
all right.
And then your mouth gets a little bit numb, and you're like, I don't think this is really working on my body, but at least my mouth is numb.